Lost Planet, Capcom's little boy underappreciated franchise. Now, since its release in January 2007, the game's gone on to have 3 games released, all to tepid reviews from both critics and users alike, while maintaining a very strong cult following. But how did it get there? Well, to find out, we've got to look at this guy, Keiji Inafune. Keiji Inafune. Keiji Inafune. Keiji in the Heat of June. Anyways, we're gonna look at this guy. So, he's got a bit of a track record. He's been with Capcom for a long time. He was the creator of Mega Man. He was the producer of Asura's Wrath, Dragon's Dogma, Phoenix Wright, some of my favorite games. Resident Evil, ReCore, it's a game he's working on right now that looks very interesting. He produced Lost Planet 2. He was also part of Zelda the Minish Cap, just some of my favorite games ever made. But he was also the man who wrote the story for Lost Planet Extreme Condition, the original, which in my opinion is the best game in the series. Or we'll get into that. Each game is their own sect of Lost Planet, but I will expand upon that in a moment. So there are 2 ways to tell a Lost Planet story and make a Lost Planet game. And Mr. Cajun on the Moon created these 2 very distinct parts of the game. And I refer to them as Lost Planet Blue and Lost Planet Orange. Lost Planet Extreme Condition versus Lost Planet Extreme. You know, Lost Planet Desolation, Lost Planet Survival, Lost Planet Fear, Lost Planet I'm driving through a field of ice and get my bike destroyed by giant worms that I have to run from. Lost Planet Wow, they used loading screens to have a long distance relationship with his wife. You know, Lost Planet doing your job and fixing things and then cowering in a building from a Cat G in the middle of a huge ice storm. Lost Planet Immersion. Lost Planet Action. Lost Planet Power Fantasy. Lost Planet Aggression. Lost Planet, I just got hopped up on cereal and I'm 8 years old and I'm jumping off the couch with a Nerf gun, shooting the dog in the butt and hitting my sister in the head with a golf club. Lost Planet, minimum story, but good enough to keep me going, and fucking maximum 24/7, baby. Lost Planet, awesome story, atmosphere, and overall feeling versus the railway gun. Need I say more? And it's this combination of good storytelling, amazing atmosphere, a really kick-ass universe, an awesome bad guy, an awesome enemy in the form of Nevik and the Acrid, backed by just absolutely fantastic action that's always stuck with me. You know, the final boss fight of Extreme Condition with the LP 9999 against the Secret Weapon X, that was the most fucking Gurren Lagann thing I've ever seen. And it was so badass, and it has always stayed with me since I first played it. I mean, it's this combination of blue and orange that, you know, created one of the best games of my childhood, and probably the best game that I've ever played. So that leads us to the video's title. Is there going to be a Lost Planet 4? Or what's the future of Lost Planet? Well, I haven't heard anything announced. Not officially, nothing hinted at, nothing at all, so I don't think we're going to see anything soon. And if we do see anything, we know that BG's on the Moon isn't going to have anything to do with it because he told Capcom to fuck off and started up his own Geely Bobili. And despite Spark's valiant and I think successful attempt at telling Lost Planet and EDN3's story, it got poorly received by the public and critics alike, so they aren't going to have anything to do with it either. So if we see anything, it's going to be a reboot, or Capcom's going to handle it internally with somebody new that we haven't seen before. And for a game like this, that's not a hit, it's more of a cult classic than anything, you've really got to do it right. And you don't have this gold and ivory foundation that you can just sell the games off of. If you're going to make it, it's got to be, knocked out of the park perfect. And I've got a couple ideas of how they could do that. The easiest and least cost-effective method that they could take, but I would appreciate it. I know a lot of people that like the series would appreciate it, because like I've said, the series is split down the middle between Lost Planet Blue players and Lost Planet Orange players. So what they could do is they could create two separate games dead focused around the two separate aspects of EDN3, and that would allow people to get what they want without having to worry about trying to fit everything into one game and stress about trying to do it right. Well, how much do we need of blue? How much do we need of orange? Just keep them separate. Do different things, different stories in different places with different stakes. And that would work out very well. But that would be very risky, because then they would be developing two games. They would have to be priced below $60. You would have two separate teams working on them, which is fine. That's the idea. But that's just a really big risk, and I don't see them doing that. The alternative would be to try to combine Lost Planet Orange and Lost Planet 2 and make another Lost Planet Extreme Condition with a good environment, strong characters, powerful action sequences, and high stakes for the planet that we all care about. And I've got a couple ideas for a story that could make Lost Planet 4, and I will make some videos talking about it, but I don't see this happening with Capcom making it. I don't see them trying it, because getting the mixture of orange and blue right would be very difficult. Now, I could see them doing it and screwing it up, definitely. Capcom has a history of just pumping out awful stuff and making horrible games sometimes. Umbrella Corps just came out at the time of making this not too long ago, and that's just a mess. Just an absolute mess. And a disgrace to the license, really. And I don't think Capcom's above that. If we see Lost Planet 4, it very well may be a disgraceful, horrible, tasteless cash grab for a community that really loves it. I hope that's not what we're going to see, but that might be what we see. Now, what I think is most likely to happen, well, actually, the cash grab is probably what's going to happen if it happens, but if it is successful and they make it, what it's probably going to be is a remake of Lost Planet 2, or following the Lost Planet Orange formula. A couple of missions strung together, ending with super climax, hyper ultra, anger boss fights, which I don't mind. I really loved Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet 2 is one of my favorite games I've ever played. I love Lost Planet 2, I love Lost Planet Orange. And that's probably what it's going to be if it's not a failure. Because I played Lost Planet 2 for the first time on PlayStation 3, and the multiplayer was just brimming with Japanese players, and it was really awesome, and they really responded well to it. So I think that's what Lost Planet 4 would look like. It would be Lost Planet 2, just more, a lot more, and a larger focus on multiplayer, and a lot more campaign and co-op, and just as big and as crazy as you can get. And I'd be perfectly fine with that. But I think Lost Planet Orange is wasting a really good atmosphere and world and universe, because Lost Planet EDN3 is one of the most fascinatingly desolate and lonely games. One of the most immersive frontier universes, worlds that I've ever seen. And I would really, really be empty feeling if they let that go to waste. But yeah, that's been my thoughts on the future of Lost Planet, my favorite game series ever. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the future of Lost Planet. Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you want to see more of it? What do you think it's going to look like? Like and comment, subscribe for more, because I'm gonna start doing a lot more Lost Planet stuff. I was gonna put it off until I had a lot more subs and a lot better equipment, because you know this is my favorite series of games ever made, and I wanted to do it right, do it special, and I will do it right, do it special in the future. I'll remake it from the ground up and make it perfect. But I really wanted to make this. So yeah, if you're here and you're still listening, then if you found this video, you're a fan also, and we need to stick together if we want to keep this game alive and this community going. Or you found this video because I posted it on Reddit, shamelessly self-promoting. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.